Starting back in 1976 and in every generation since, the Honda Accord has raised the bar in the family sedan segment. Once one of few easy choices in the mid-size sedan segment, there's now a slew of competitors out there. And that's why we've come here to Santa Barbara, California to test this, the brand new 2013 Honda Accord, to find out if Honda's made mid-size sedan shoppers' lives easier by raising the bar once again. More than just a new look, the Accord is the first to get Honda's new Earth Dreams powertrains, starting with a new 4-cylinder engine. It's a 2.4-liter unit and for the first time uses direct injection. Now, that engine can be mated to either a CVT automatic transmission or a 6-speed manual. Power is rated at 185 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 181 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPM. Fuel economy for that new engine is rated at 27 miles per gallon in the city and 36 on the highway, for an average of 30 miles per gallon combined, meaning it's just 1 mile per gallon shy of the new class-leading Nissan Altima. There's also a new optional 3.5-liter V6 engine, which combines both VTEC technology and cylinder deactivation. It's available exclusively with a 6-speed automatic, although coupe buyers can also get a 6-speed manual. V6 power is rated at 272 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 252 foot-pounds of torque at 4,900 RPM. Fuel economy is 21 miles per gallon in the city and 34 miles per gallon on the highway for a combined 25 miles per gallon, making it the most fuel-efficient V6 midsize sedan, although a little short of some of the turbocharged 4-cylinder offerings. The design of the new Accord is certainly evolutionary, and even Honda designers will admit that it's no work of art. And yet there are some nice design cues on this vehicle, and perhaps the best word to describe it is serious. That's because it has a bit more of an upfront look to it with the squared off edges, and you have to love this nice chrome splitter down on the bottom. And helping the car look more purposeful and better proportioned, it's actually 3.6 inches shorter in length overall, although Honda insists it has kept interior volume the same as the old model. Inside, the new Accord is definitely familiar. Much like the outside, the interior isn't exactly dripping with design, but for the most part, all of the materials are first rate. I'm really liking these new sort of 3D designed center gauges, although if I do have one singular complaint about this car, it's the seats. Sure, they're comfortable, but the materials used and just the look of them is something that you'd expect to find in a Honda Accord 15 years ago. Sit in any seat in the Accord and you can appreciate the reason for its outside design. Yes, it doesn't have one of those cool designs with a really high belt line and really small windows, but the result is you can see out of it remarkably well from any seat. The new Accord does come very well equipped. All cars come with dual zone climate control as well as an 8-inch LCD screen up on the dash. That includes Honda's iMid system, and it also includes a backup camera. On top of all that, all cars again get a USB port as well as Honda's Econ button, which when you press just helps maximize fuel economy by dulling the throttle response. Step up to the popular EX trim level and you get a sunroof, you get keyless access with a push-button ignition, as well as Honda's new lane watch system. Now, rather than just a blind spot alert system, it actually will use a camera to display on the 8-inch center screen exactly what is in your blind spot. Drive the Accord and the first thing you'll immediately notice is the improved sound deadening. This car is nearly silent, and it's even more so if you opt for the V6 engine, which at idle you can't even tell is on. In many ways you'll feel like you're driving a luxury car, and that's especially true if you're in one of the high-grade trim levels with the V6 engine. At the same time, however, it doesn't feel like a big car. The new electric power steering system is light but reasonably responsive. Now, Honda says that they've actually improved the ratio on it, making it a little bit quicker, although the change is so small that you can't even tell. The good news is there's no numb on-center feel, and the steering feel is always consistent. The new 4-cylinder engine is peppy enough, and while Honda claims that it's faster than any of its competitors, it's probably by such a small margin that it's not something you'd really notice on a regular basis. As for the V6, when equipped with a manual transmission in the coupe, it's an absolute riot. The real question for many will be the CVT transmission equipped to the 4-cylinder engine. Obviously done for maximum fuel economy, it seems sort of un-Honda-like to go that direction. However, I'm happy to report that it's actually quite good. It does behave a bit like a CVT sometimes, but also a bit like a conventional automatic sometimes. Depending on how much throttle input and the grade that you're going on, sometimes it's just a minimal change. They'll just climb up in RPMs slowly, and it does feel a little bit more like that rubber band feeling in a regular CVT. On the other hand, if your throttle application is just a little bit heavier, it'll actually jump a couple thousand RPM or about 1500 RPM and really give you this great responsiveness like an automatic transmission that's just dropped a gear, except a really, really smooth automatic transmission. And the results do speak for themselves. The 4-cylinder Accord model does get a real-world 30 miles per gallon exactly as promised. Quieter and more refined, the 9th generation Honda Accord carries on hallmarks like interior space and value. The car does cost between $200 and $340 more than the outgoing model, meaning it starts at $21,680 or $22,480 if you want an automatic transmission model. Truth be told, it's hard not to be swayed by sexier styling or an extra mile per gallon on the highway. Then again, the Honda Accord does bring with it a long reputation for quality, durability, and reliability. Package that with everything we've got in this new car, and it really never has been a question of why you should buy a Honda Accord. But why shouldn't you?